So welcome to our annual Parent Empowerment Day. This is a 2-day program designed to empower parents and caregivers just like yourself. Some of you have joined us in previous years and you know Parent Empowerment Day has traditionally been in person. We love seeing you all come together and being able to connect with you. During this year of uncertainty, we've made it a point to ensure we were able to pivot this event and bring this event forward, even if that meant virtually. This year's theme is I Am Enough. You can see that here on my shirt and on everyone else that's visible. The day is all about you. So enjoy it and take advantage of the information you're going to receive today. Crystal Stairs supports families in early childhood education year-round. We want to take these 2 days to support you as an individual. You are enough, but we want you to say it. Whether you're in your kitchen, your living room, or your car, come on, say it with me. I am enough. I hope you channel that same energy throughout these next 2 days. Day 1 of our program is around resiliency and wellness, while day 2 gives you access to personal and professional development opportunities. Our Parent Empowerment Day is an element of our Parent Support Services program, which is also known as PSSP. The Parent Support Services program continues to evolve as the needs of our families change every day. This program focuses on providing support to parents as individuals because self-care is the art of well-being. Parent empowerment is a snippet of what our program offers. Stay tuned in the coming weeks as we roll out our Parent Support Services program offerings. Today, we have an incredible program designed for you all, which includes a keynote speaker, inspiring and motivational workshops, and a virtual resource garden, along with amazing giveaways, including Disneyland tickets, an Amazon Alexa, and an Apple Watch, just to name a few. Those are some pretty good prizes. We will also be active on social media throughout this entire event. So we encourage you to tag us on your photos that you post to Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram using our hashtag Parent Empowerment Day 2021 and hashtag PED ×2. Whoever posts the most pictures will be entered in a drawing for a chance to win a 4-pack of Disneyland tickets. So take lots of photos and make sure you tag us using the hashtags. At this time, we would like to take a moment to thank all of our Crystal Stairs board members and sponsors for believing in our mission and investing in our families. A special appreciation to Union Bank, Win LA, Kaplan, Jackson Lewis, HealthNet, and USC Athletics Department. A virtual applause for all of our sponsors, or you can use that feature on the bar below. Everyone, please help me welcome our Crystal Stairs board chair, Heidi Roth. Heidi has served as a board member since 2014 and has made numerous contributions to board governance. She has provided guidance in expanding services to our communities that we serve across South Los Angeles, and she is an instrumental asset to the Crystal Stairs family as we further our mission of improving the lives of all of you. Let's warmly welcome Heidi Roth.
Thank you, Tiffany, and hello, everyone. Welcome today. My name is Heidi, as Tiffany said, and I am the board chair of Crystal Stairs. On behalf of the board and all of us at Crystal Stairs, I'd like to welcome you to the first Parent Empowerment Day virtually. I would like to introduce our keynote speaker for today, Alexandra James. Alexandra James is currently the Chief Program Officer at Be Strong Families after serving 9 years as CEO of Trinity Family Life Center, a nationally recognized social enterprise model with 4 economic engines: a child care center, restaurant and catering, facility rental, and a fitness center. Alexandra brings a wealth of knowledge and experience in developing and implementing innovative programs for children, youth, and families, and has a deep commitment to empowered engagement, equity, diversity, and inclusion. Alexandra's background and experience as an artist and hip-hop MC allows her to bring her creative skills and vision to the art and activism components of her work. Previously, she served for 5 years on the Be Strong Families Board of Directors, including 2 of those years as its board chair. Alexandra is a product of the public school system and a Howard University alumni. She holds a Master's of Divinity from the Samuel DeWitt Proctor School of Theology of Virginia Union University. Let's give a warm round of virtual applause to welcome her.
Alexandra?
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. Really excited to be a part of this Parent Empowerment Day. And I'm going to share with you a little bit, just a little conversation, even though it says Keynote, around I am enough, using your resilience to rethink, reset, and refuel. Next slide, please. So a lot of times when people are introduced to speak, they talk about all of their professional experience. They talk about where they work, everything that you got in my bio, that's something that you just have to do when you work for an organization. And though I'm here representing Be Strong Families, a part of our mission and the work that we do is about true parent engagement and equity. And so everything that we do, we co-create with parents. We also have staff who have experienced the same things that that the people that we serve have experienced, and I'm no different. And so today when I talk to you, I'm not coming to you as an expert. I'm coming as a parent. I'm a divorced and single mother. I had to, clarify because, sometimes you could be divorced and co-parenting, but I'm a divorced single mother of identical twin girls who are 14 years old. I've spent a lot of my career in my professional organizations I work for and outside within my community as a builder and an activist, a community builder and an activist. I'm an advocate for Black and Brown unity, race, equity, diversity, and inclusion, and intercultural competence, which means people from all backgrounds, we're trying to understand each other, respect our differences, and learn how we can communicate more effectively. I'm a poet, an MC in hip hop, a painter. I'm a mother who's also experienced the child welfare system. I'm a woman who has a brother and two uncles and an aunt who suffered from addiction to crack cocaine. I'm an aunt who raised my nephew when his mother died, and my brother, who's now been in recovery for more than 15 years, but when he was facing his addiction. So I'm a kinship family member, and I'm a sister and a friend who has seen the effects of structural racism within the justice system and severe injury to people I love and even death from violence. And then I'm a daughter who recently lost her mother. Actually, my mother died December 16th from cancer, and today is her birthday. So I'm really excited to be here with you. I think this is no better way to honor her memory than to be empowering other people based on my life experience. I'm also a woman who's had to restart her life and reset her life over after tragedy several times. So regardless of what my bio said, I'm not an expert. At Be Strong Families, we don't believe that people are experts. We believe that parents are the experts in their own experience. And so that's what fuels my passion, is my life experience. And so our journey today is simply one of one parent sharing lessons that have empowered me so I can empower other parents. So that's a little bit of who I am. Next slide, please. So we've all heard, I'm sure, and those of you who have participated with Crystal Stairs in the parent cafes or any of their other workshops and supportive services, you know about the protective factors. And if you don't, I would, just say take some time to look them up. They're basically 5 attitudes, behaviors, protective factors that the Center for Social Policy in DC, when they did a study on how parents are effective, they found that there was these 5 things in common across race, across socioeconomic level, political views, etc. And so you see on the side here, it's parental resilience, the social and emotional competence of children, social connections, concrete support in times of need, and knowledge of parenting. And so today I'll be kind of using those protective factors to explain some of the things I'm going to share with you. Also, there are what we have at Be Strong Families are called vitality domains. So you see those in the right hand corner of the screen. It's environmental, financial, mental, physical, social, and spiritual. And those 5 domains, you think about what would make you most vital, or what would make your life be more holistically improved if you had an actual plan around those vitality domains. So we want to rethink our resilience. A lot of times we hear people say, oh, it's parental resilience. It's the ability to go through something and stand back up again, or the ability to be flexible and movable in tragedy and get through the tragedy. And we think about that in terms of our challenges, but we don't think sometimes about resilience in a way that builds a foundation for us to transform ourselves as people, as parents, as community activists, as all of the roles that we're in. And so I want us to kind of think about resilience in a different way, that it's a foundation to build upon how you want to have your self transformation. Okay, so for parenting, the protective factors and the vitality domains, you can, use them as a framework. We learn about them when we are in programs and in with organizations, but really taking the time on our own to look at them, to understand them, and to actually put them into practice as a framework of how we parent. The next thing is we should teach these protective factors to our children and to our youth. So anything that happens that, because we all, I'm a parent, I have parents, and we're blessed if you like the majority of what your parents did and how you raised you. But if there was some things that you didn't like, even in the best situation, you can see something that you want to improve. So a lot of times we don't think about teaching our children outside of what they're going to model, because kids model what we do, not what we say. Everybody knows that, right? And so, but teaching them about the protective factors as a way to make them stronger parents if and when they decide to be parents. Also, there's something else, and maybe some of the links will be in the chat. The youth protective and promotive factors. Those are the same thing like these parent protective factors, and they're basically the foundation of what happens to be have a healthy childhood and a healthy teenage experience. And then last, I would say you don't have to use the vitality framework. You can use just your own words, but as long as it covers these same things, it's creating a family vitality plan, right? Just needs to be recorded. Just come back, environmental, financial, mental. What are the things as a family that you need to do in order to increase your well-being in those 6 things? Or write out your own 6 things, and this is just a guide. And then when it comes to self-care, we have to make sure that we honor our resilience by celebrating our small victories, learning from your successes and lessons. I didn't say failures. Everybody always say, oh, success and failures. I don't believe in failures. I believe that everything we experience, no matter how horrible, no how much inner will it took for us to get through, they're lessons. They're lessons that may be for us, or sometimes they're lessons for other people. We go through things sometimes because then we can become a lesson for someone else. We want to use, and I talked about this earlier, using our resilience to power your transformation, right? The things that you've been through as a parent, the things that you've been through as a person of color, the things that you've been through as a woman, the things that you've been through based on your gender identity, whatever it is, those things, and you still being here and waking up another day to fight and do it all again, is your resilience. So you have to use that same energy to power your transformation. And so then what you see at the end is then we're going to ask you that at some point, in your own space and time, to create your own vitality plan. What are the things that you need to do that will help you achieve and get where you want to, based on the vision that you have for yourself and your family in these different domains. Next slide, please. So the art of the reset, right? And I love this quote. It says, clutter is not just the stuff on the floor. It's anything that stands between you and the life you want to be living. And sometimes when we are just caught in the daily grind of working, trying to provide for our families, you know, whatever stresses we face, a lot of times we put our vision and our dreams for ourselves to the side. And while sometimes it may be absolutely necessary because you have to provide for your family, there's still always enough time for you to focus on the things that make you happy, on your unique God-given talents, and figure out how to birth that or bring that into your reality. So the art of the reset, right? That's basically a deep commitment to your own self-transformation. Every day is a new opportunity. I know that's cliche. I know everybody says it all the time, but it really is. The other thing is, in the reset, don't be so hard on yourself, right? As parents, as mothers, sometimes we're always hard on ourselves. Am I doing the right thing? Am I making the right decision? You know, what's going to happen? Is my parenting going to affect what happens to my children when they get older? The reality is we have this saying at Be Strong Families, which is parenting is part learned and part natural. But no one gets a handbook, right? We don't get a handbook when we become parents. We either take it upon ourselves to learn about parenting, and we have, you know, luckily we have Google, learn about parenting, or we just go through naturally, and sometimes we end up just becoming our parents. And which is nothing wrong with that, but the goal should be that the great things that your parents did, you continue to do them. The things that may have had an effect on you that you didn't like, you sweep those away and you stop those. But if you're not being focused and conscious about it, you just end up turning into your parents. And anybody that's like in their late 30s and 40s, you know, you find yourself saying the exact same things that your parents said, and you're like, oh, did I just say that? You know, and sometimes those are great things, but sometimes if our experience was not so good, we have to do the work to make sure that we're not passing that trauma, that pain, etc., onto our children. The art of the reset means that if you're being an empowered parent, it means that your self-transformation is a priority above all else, right? You have to do what it takes to be an empowered parent, because when you're empowered, when you're living out your talents, when you are practicing self-care, when you're forgiving yourself for those days that you're just tired and you're like, I'm not making dinner, we're going to stop at this fast food place, whatever it is. On those days, you have to, part of being an empowered parent is to forgive yourself, knowing that you're doing the best that you can and that you have this commitment to be a better parent every day. So what does this like reset look like? This is not an exhaustive list. This is just a framework for you to think about it and apply it in your own lives. It's learning and understanding and applying the protective factors that surround the social and emotional competence of children, which is basically is how do children develop? How do they communicate? What's the best way to communicate? How do I manage my own emotions when I'm tired, when I'm frustrated? You know, how do I manage my emotions and based on what we know is the best way to make sure that our children grow up socially and emotionally competent. Also, you know, assessing the vitality domains or any other holistic domains about your life and creating a plan of action, right? Like actually writing things down. You know, when we have to go participate in activities with organizations or participate in, you know, our social clubs, whatever it is, if you're a part of anything like that, community activism, there's always someone writing something down to make sure things are clear. We have to use those same principles for ourselves. A lot of times we're so busy doing, so busy trying to make the ends meet, so busy trying to make sure our kids have what they need, our partners, our husbands, our wives, everybody has what they need, that we don't take a moment to just relax and write down what it is that we want to accomplish. And something about writing helps make it more real versus keeping it in your mind. The other thing is, you know, learning how to advocate. right? I'm sure you know naturally people know how to advocate for themselves, but there's some practices and techniques that you could just learn on your own in YouTube University, because it'll help strengthen when you have to advocate for yourself, when you have to go to the school to advocate for your children, if you have to go to any other of these systems to advocate, you have some tools in your back pocket to do it effectively to try to create the change that you want to see. um, Journal, right? Again, that's that writing it down. Journal your vision for yourself and your family. Create personal affirmations, and those personal affirmations, I like to put them on the little sticky notes and just put them somewhere that I know, like in my bathroom or in the mirror, so I can see them every day. Because when we're in the habit of being stressed and overthinking or negative thinking or all of those things that happens in our inner dialogue, we can get caught up in that. And that becomes the cycle of what we think, which then affects our behavior versus us really trying to reprogram how we're thinking to see some differences in our lives. And it takes time. It's a process to replace that overthinking. I'm an overthinker, so I have worked really hard on overthinking. If you're a negative person, negative thinker, where you just automatically, because experience goes to the worst case scenario, then creating affirmations that help you think differently is very useful and is a part of your empowerment and your transformation. Schedule, build your team, right? We all need team. We all need support and social connections, which is one of the protective factors. Who's your team? You probably already have your team, but analyze it. Is it your cousin that could pick up the babies when you're running late for daycare? Is it this person at a drop? Whatever your team is, make sure you have a team that helps support you. That is extremely important. Schedule conversation time when you figure out your reset and you got it all written down. Tell your family, make it a family initiative, right? Nonprofits, they're not the only ones that can have initiatives. Politicians are not the only ones that have initiatives. Some of these same things that we see in society that make things get done, we have to use those same principles and tools within our life and in our families. So schedule, after you have talk about your family initiative, to have your reset plan or your vitality plan, then have some conversation, use conversation guides and cards to try to schedule a time once a week to just talk to each other and get to know. We think because we live with people, we know them, but we don't. When you can use some of these guides, some of these guides, you'll be amazed. I have the craziest, funniest conversations just talking to my teenage daughters. And most importantly, get an accountability partner. You can't do this stuff alone. You need someone that's going to call you and check you and say, hey, did you do such and such? Because you said you were going to do this, and that helps keep you in the mode. And then commit to whatever your religious or spiritual background. Make sure that you're committed to doing that every day. It's hard. You get caught up, you go to sleep, you work late, etc. But you have to make sure, even if it's 10 minutes, to take that time for yourself and for your spiritual practice. And then last, just constantly monitor your thoughts, words, and actions. That was probably the most important out of everything I said around the art of the reset. Next slide, please. So we're going to get to the refueling, right? If you are refueling, self-care is mandatory. So why is refueling important? Because being resilient is hard work, right? Like it's hard to be resilient. It's battling the historical trauma and oppression that Black and brown people face in this country. It's tiring. It's hard work being a parent. It gets overwhelming, especially if you're working or have multiple jobs, it gets very overwhelming. So we have to look at renewing and refueling our energy through self-care. It's not selfish. A lot of times, men, you may experience this too, but women, I know we just have a tendency to think that anytime we're taking time for ourselves, that we're being selfish. It is not selfish. It is mandatory. You cannot pour from an empty cup, right? You don't take the time to refill your energy, your cup is going to be empty, and then that's going to affect the environment, the whole environment of your house. And so taking that time, create your own self-care plan, share with your family so they know if it's I get off of work at 7 o'clock. From 7 to 7:15, do not bother me. Or when I go take my bubble bath, do not bother me. If you got to make a sign, whatever it is that you have to do. I have a friend of mine, when we weren't virtual and she would get into park in front of her house, she would wait 15 or 20 minutes in the car and just listen to music before she went in so she could de-stress. So whatever irritated her at work, she wouldn't bring it into the house. So having that self-care moment each day is very important. Here's some just activities. You see the graphic tells you some of the things to break it down. Again, similar to the vitality domains: physical, emotional, social, spiritual. But create your own spa day. You don't have to have, go to the fancy spa. If you want to do that, do that. But you can create one at home. I'm like a super big fan of like watching YouTube videos and making like natural masks and scrubs with stuff that's just in the kitchen, or maybe just run and buy a few things. And they actually work a lot better than a lot of the expensive stuff. So create your own spa day. That's also fun to do with your children. Take yourself on a date, right? Make sure you have your date night with your husband, your wife, your partner, your significant other. Make sure you have your night out with your friends. All these things are important, and you have to make time in your life as a parent to do these things. Since you all are in LA, beautiful California, I'm in Virginia. Go to the beach. It's right there. Y'all have it. Just at sunset, at sunrise, visit the park and go walk. Nature just automatically renews you and refuels you. Commit to eating healthy and movement, whatever that looks like. You don't have to go into the gym. You could just dance, but commit to moving every day. I'm seeing some in the chats. Yes, Christina, it is I'm sure it's very stressful having 5 children. And so that's why even more important, you have to take this time. Whenever you can eke it out, find someone to take this time. If it's, you know, too hard to do every day, start with once a week, but take the time for yourself. You'll be surprised after you've done it for a while. You'll notice a difference in your energy and a difference in the way that you react with your children, the way that you react to just people, because people can be very irritating sometimes if they're not conscious. And so just making sure that you have the opportunity to take that time. Watch self-empowerment videos. Again, YouTube University is the greatest thing ever. Be creative, even if you don't consider yourself an artist. Draw, paint, dance, sing, whatever. Creativity, it heals your body, it heals your mind, it heals your proven to heal your trauma, right? That's why they have what's called the art therapy. When you do something creative, you make sure that your left and right brain are talking. And a lot of times when you've experienced trauma, those two sections of the brain, sometimes they're not talking to each other. So art is a must. It's mandatory. Just get down there and draw. Last but not least, have a vision board party, right? Where you get your poster board and your magazine, and everybody in the family creates the vision for themselves, the kids for their future or the next year, whatever it is. It's really fun and creative. And then last but not least, sometimes just do nothing, right? In American society, we're always on the go. You have to be doing something, moving. You just got to be filled up with stuff until you go to sleep. That's not healthy. So have those moments where you do nothing, but whatever it is you want to do. If that's lay around in your pajamas all day, you do that and snack, because that is still a part of self-care, and it helps your mental health. I love doing nothing too, Ms. Smith. Next slide, please. I can only see some of the ones when they pop up. And so again, I just wanted to kind of share with you all some of the things that I do to make sure that my self-care is in order, that I'm renewing and that I'm resetting myself. And so as an African American woman, and the experiences that we experience as people of color in this country, I wanted to just create a poem around the theme for today, based on my experience, the experience of the people that I love. And so I'm going to recite it to you. I hope that you all enjoy it. And this artist is Whitney. I think her name, I can't remember her name right now, but I love this picture here and the things that are in the young lady's hair. Okay, so anyway, I am enough. The way I push through the pressure and the stress, I am enough. The way I make less seem more, I am enough. The way I push through the closed doors, I am enough. The way I triumph over tragedy and use my inner will to overcome the pain and the agony, I am enough. When I'm overworked, tired, and feeling hopeless, yet I find the strength to push through with focus, I am enough. When it is my resilience alone that allows me to stand not totally broken by the racism, prejudice, discrimination, and injustice, I am enough. When I get paid less simply because I'm a woman, and even less because I'm a woman of color, yet I still make a way for my family, I am enough. When my Black and brown brothers, fathers, sons, uncles, and nephews leave home to face discrimination, racial profiling, and boxed in opportunities, yet they still provide for their families, they are enough. When I'm down to my last dollar and payday is more than a week away, yet God and my ingenuity makes a way, I am enough. When I remind myself to take care of myself and fill up my cup, I am enough. When I take the time to celebrate my small victories, my successes and lessons, I am enough. When I use my resilience to rethink, reset, and refuel and be grateful instead of stressing, I am enough. When I look into the eyes of my children and see innocence, imagination, creativity, and unconditional love, I know that my hard work, my struggle, and my commitment to being an empowered parent is more than enough. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Alexandra. I'm blown away. I love the spoken word that you did. I hope that it's on the resource garden for our parents to see, and thank you.
Thank you so much. And if anybody, and that means anybody on this call, wants to contact me, you can reach me at alexandra@bestrongfamilies.net. We're actually doing a spring vitality. We have free webinars every day. They're 30 minutes, lunch break time. Well, it would be morning for you all, but feel free, they pre-recorded, just jump on. We're going through all of the vitality domains. And I really appreciate you all. Thank you for letting me share with you, and have a beautiful and wonderful next 2 days. And that my prayer is that you leave empowered and you leave committed to your own self-care. Thank you.